friends, Grace here. So today I cleaned up my scrapbook room and it's not perfect, but I figured I'd do a video and show you where I do all my crafty projects before it gets messy again. So I'm going to try this in a video. I hope my hands are steady enough that it won't be too crazy and you won't have a headache. Okay, so this is my scrapbook room. It's in the basement of our house. It's actually an extra room that we have. We have 5 bedrooms in our home, and my kids, they each have a room, and then us. And so there's 2 bedrooms downstairs, and it's kind of a girl cave and a man cave. My husband took the other room, and it's his exercise room, and then I have my scrapbook room. So I'm very lucky to have this room just all to myself. Okay, so I'm going to do a little switcheroo so you can see what's behind me. So this is the door to my room, and a lot of the supplies or the organization things that I have are from Goodwill or from other things from my home. This one is one of those shoe type storage, and I have all my punches in here. And at one point, I have them all organized where I punched out a little piece and I stuck them in there so I know exactly what's in there. But then, you know, I've kind of purged and kind of arranged it so some have labels, some don't. And I don't have a lot of punches just because I don't like to collect too many things. So that's where my punches all go. Borders, circle punches, the big punches. And then this is my messy part. This is where I call this my shipment area. So as you can see, I have tons of boxes over there. When I was getting published with the magazines and working a lot for design teams, I would save some of the boxes so I could mail projects and things like that. So I kept a lot of boxes there. And then over here, I have what I call my altered item kind of bin. So this is all the stuff that I would like to alter, like cover them up, or make home decor projects. And then, let me pull this out. On the bottom, I have finished projects, like 3D items, like bags, altered frames, and things like that. Okay, and there's a chair that has a lot more crap, but that's the little corner right there. And then I have a closet here, and I'm not going to open that up, but it has just stuff for the home. It's not really crafty things. Okay, and over here, I got this chalkboard from my husband's old business. They had a business in the other state that we used to live in, and I swiped this. So I'm going to have a craft camp soon. So I wrote all the things that I need to do for that, just so to remind me. And before, I would actually write design team assignments and publication things there so I won't forget. And my kids like to doodle on that one too. Okay, and I'm going to back up. And then there's just a bunch of stuff on the bottom. The stuff on the bottom are my daughter's. Like when I have scraps and things like that, I give it to her, and she's not very clean, so it's pretty messy. But I kind of leave that up to her because I want her to own it. So if it's messy, it's her stuff, but the more organized ones are mine. Okay, so this shelf, I believe I got this from my brother when he was fixing his house. He had an extra shelf, and I asked for it. And so what I have here are, on the bottom one, I have my Spellbinders die cut machine, and then this container of cards. That is all of the items that I sell on my Etsy store. So I have them all organized so I know where to pull them. And then this container I got at Harbor Freight. It's for, you know, nuts and bolts and things like that. And I got them and I use them for my flowers. And of course, it's nice to have some music when you're scrapping. And so I have this boombox here so I can listen to the radio or play my CDs. And then up here, let me move this. I have 2 containers of embossing powder, some buttons. I got this metal container at Hobby Lobby, and it has all of paints, glitters, things like that. And then this carousel, I got this at Goodwill. I forgot how much it is. But this has all of my mists. Trying to focus. So it has 4 spots there, and I can actually swivel it, but it's hitting my metal thing here, so I can't swivel it too much. But that's where my mists are. And then down on the bottom, I have some little ink pads. Over here are all my embossing powders. On the bottom, on the back are my chalks, and then I have all of my acrylic blocks on the other side. Okay, and then over by the windowsill, I just have projects. I have a basket full of cards. These are 3D cards, so I don't put them with all of the other cards because they're just too bumpy with all the flowers and things like that. So some finished projects, a picture of me and my daughter. And then over here, I kind of do with my storage, I kind of do little spots to put together all the things that I would need. So on the first level here, everything that I would need for my silhouette, because my silhouette machine is right next to it. So I have my vinyl, I have all my cut stuff, and in this white basket I have rolled up vinyl and other things. And then on the bottom I have, these are, I believe, old bake pans, and they have my glitter glue, a bunch of scrap papers, ribbons, more ribbons. Down on the bottom, the second shelf has all of my adhesives, and the bottom has all of my handmade cards that I've done. So it also has envelopes, so that they're all together. When I need them, I can just pull them all in one spot. Alright, so next to that shelf, I believe it's a shoe rack. I've had that for a while. Next on it is one of my newest finds. I got this, I believe it's a cassette player organizer, and I got it at Goodwill. And it was a steal of a deal. It was $5 for it, and now it holds all my ink pads. As you can see, I don't have much, but I love this little thing because there's room to grow. Up here are just a bunch of finished projects, and then I have hanging here a basket. This is where I put all my scraps. So if they're small scraps, I would say 8 by 8 and smaller, or maybe strips like 4 by 12. I put them in there, and I usually go there first to use for when I need to cut shapes. That's why it's right by my silhouette. And then by my cameo, I just have a little easel with some latest projects. And then over here I have my sewing machine. I have a laptop over there too, because as we all know, we need a computer with our cameos, so that's always there. And also the plugs are behind my cameos, so that's that. And then I got this swivel lamp from IKEA for a Mother's Day gift. I believe it was last year, and it's really cool because when I need extra light for when I'm doing tiny things, I can turn that on and it works. It's extra light. Okay, and then up here I got these metal squares a long time ago. But anyways, I had my husband drill some holes in the wall, and I put them in, so now they're kind of a magnet display for all my finished projects. So I change them out as soon as I'm done. And then this spot is just like little things that I don't want to forget. So that's kind of why that's there. Like I said, My room is not really perfect, but it's clean today, so I figured I'd do this. Okay, I'm going to back up, and then I have banners that I've done. I just hang them up, and then here's my work table. So my work table is just a plastic table. I think it's a 6-foot table, and underneath that's boxes where I put my finished projects, finished layouts before it goes in the album, and some other things. But on the table I have my water, of course, and then I have this container, this bag that has all of my stuff that I need all the time, like my rulers, my scissors, stapler, crocodile, pens, all sorts of things, that because I like to work and I can just reach things when I need it. And then I have my baby wipes. I have tissue box, of course. And then I got this container at Big Lots. There's even a price there. It's $1.50. I've been meaning to alter it, but one of these days. Anyways, I put all the new stuff that I got here. So if I purchase something, I put them on here so that I can use it. So I just have things that I haven't used, like I want to use this one. I got this at Michael's a while back. And then I have some thickers that I've gotten a while back too, and I put them here so that when I'm working and I want to, pick something new, I'd grab into that box. And then this is just stuff that I don't know what to do yet, but so I just put them in there. And a good friend of mine gave me some truffles recently, so I have that stuff in there just to give me, extra energy when I'm working. And then this is a kind of a sorter unit that I have. I usually do mass cutting of white paper for card bases, so I put them in there so I can easily get them, and just some scraps of paper there. More stuff. I'm not very organized. I just put things in piles. But anyways, so I have my clipboard, and I have a spreadsheet of all of the projects or layouts that I like to do, and so they're on there so I can remember what to make. And then here is another file folder for scraps. Now these are bigger scraps, like close to 12 by 12. So they're sorted. There's transparencies in vellum, and then white, and then multicolored, and then yellow cardstock, yellow pattern paper, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then on the front there's other paperwork that I have here. Like this is where I put contracts and for design teams, and then things that I would like to be able to keep. And then here's another container that I found at Goodwill. And I don't know what this was. I think this is meant to be a desk container. Anyways, as you can see, it has all of my adhesives. Again, I like everything within my reach that I really need. And so it has all of my adhesives. Glue guns, glue sticks, tape runner, foam, you name it, it's there. And then my heat gun is plugged in on the wall on the back of this table, and I just have that sitting there so it's close to me too. And on the bottom, just a lot of not organized things. But this basket I got at Goodwill as well, and it has all of my paper trimmers and also cutting mats, so they're easy to reach. And I just have a trash can next to me. Now this box, I actually use it for misting. So I put my stuff in there that I need to mist so that the mist can just be contained. This big box has, if you can believe it, has shipping peanuts in there, or like foam things for shipping. I collect them too, so because sometimes you have to ship something that needs to be protected. Okay, so we go to this wall, and this is where most of my stuff are. Okay, this shelving unit, I got this from a neighbor. They were going to give it away, and so they were kind enough to give it to me. On the top shelf, I have just a bunch of pictures and books, and then finished projects. And then we go here. I got this at I think an antique store, and that's where all my ribbons are, or some. And then over here I have all my stencils. I just put them on the wall. Baskets full of rhinestones and pearls. Just chipboard. And here I have these are my rub-ons. I don't have much. Rub-ons and 3D items. And then I have these letter stickers and more stickers. And then these are acrylic and chipboard stuff. And then I got this as a gift, these platter thing. Let me see here. I'm trying to be slow so it doesn't hurt your eyes when I move. So it has big flowers there, and then on the bottom I have a basket full of albums that I can use. And then I just have my big mat here when I want to cut fabric, and some other things. Now this, I found this, I got this shelving unit, I don't know from who, but I got this a while back. And that's how I configured it. I love these things because you can configure it however way you need it for. Anyways, this is just an envelope that has compartments, and this is where I have all my letter stickers. They are sorted by color. And this cute little wooden thing has all my journaling. So it has little bits and pieces for journaling, like 3x4 cards and Project Life-esque type things. And these are all my thickers. I put them all together, and they are sorted by color. And then over here I have, in the back, I have my pencils and markers, some buttons on that jar, more buttons in this jar, in this basket. And then I have this old, I think this was for, you know, tools and things like that. I have ribbons there, and then on the other side I have more buttons, and they're sorted in Tic Tac containers by color. So that goes there. And then I have my cardstock. There's not a lot of cardstock there. Some other things here. I sort them. This one is from one specific company, so I have them all together. And then this little container used to be, I think, a strawberry container. I washed it. Has all of my twine. And then I have pattern paper. Just goes all the way, 3 rows. And they are sorted by manufacturer. Okay. And then over here I have, on the top, I have stamps, acrylic stamps, stamp rollers, little pieces of ink pads. And that white basket has all of my dies, my thin wafer dies. Here is some wood stamps. I don't have a lot of wood stamps. And then buckets full of pens. And then my paints. And then I have paper towel over there. I have paper cutter. These are all punches and cutters from Creative Memories. They're all stacked there. Inspired by Stamping Stamps. They're all together. These are all my 6x6 and 8x8 papers. And then just a few little things. And then more embellishments. These 2 containers are Maya Road stuff. I have a lot of them, so I put them all in one spot. And then, oh, here's a cool one. I need to show it to you. I know you guys have seen these letter sorters. I think they're like bill sorters that have dates. Well, I use them for my small letter stickers. So all of my letter stickers are all there. And I just pull them out and they're organized. And then I have a box for washi. Down here is my cuddle bug and the dies that go with it, my bind it all. This is a basket just full of embellishments, all sorts of embellishments, and below I have punches from Epiphany Crafts and projects that I need to do. Right, so we go to here, and this closet has all of my other crafting things. Has fabrics and yarn and other items. It's mostly for sewing things. And on the bottom is more shipping stuff. It's got tape and folded boxes and things like that. And then here, this is one of the things that I like to is this is an old time card place thingy, whatever it's called. Anyways, this is from my husband's shop as well, and I took it, well, I asked for it, and he gave it to me, and that's where I put my finished cards. So there is kind of a 360-degree tour of my little space. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me turn around so you can see all the everything. And thanks for stopping by. We'll see ya. Bye.